What's up, bitches? We're a week late. Deal with it. Everybody was tuned into that last week of regular season football, the first one without fantasy. At least I know I was. Great seeing the Green Bay Packers take care of business against the Bears like they always do, squeak ourselves into a little playoff spot. So I'm excited. I know Cleesby is excited from last night, so he's riding on top of the world. But we have to pay our respects to Travis McGrath, our winner of this year's For the Moms Fantasy League. You see the beautiful trophy in his picture there. And Travis, I kind of want to throw it over to you. Just give us a rundown of what happened here, how the boys got it done, and how you're feeling right now.
We over here at Texas 10 Force, we could not be more proud of our players and our fans for all the support we had this season. But we just wanted to go through here. We also wanted to thank everyone in the league for giving us a wonderful year 8 of For the Mountains existence. As commissioner, we are very happy with the way the league has gone this year. Very happy with the transition to Dynasty. We had our first full auction this season, and it went about as smoothly as I ever could have asked for. So thanks to everyone for that. Uh, Going through our championship run these past 2 weeks, we were able to get off to a good lead of about 12 points after week 16. And then we just kind of rode that home in week 17, able to put up a monster performance, and Seeking Mistakes just could not catch up to us. We move the trophy out of the way here a little bit. It is rather large, it's getting in the way of me using my mouse. Dak Prescott did his thing. He had a little bit of some matchup troubles. Detroit, obviously a very good team, still able to put up 24 points as they snuck out the win late in that one. Christian McCaffrey had himself a great game both weeks. 15 points. He would leave a little banged up, but that would still be enough to get it done. Swift a little bit down. Had a little bit of trouble going up against Jalen Hurts, but still a great season from him and from McCaffrey. Our running back room was really one to be messed with on the whole season. In addition to Kenneth Walker, we'd really like to thank Lamp for letting us get him in free agency. Really, all the Spartans of the league for letting us get him in free agency for so cheap, as well as DeAndre Swift from Glizz Mafia. Very thankful for that. Really only cost us a second round pick. So very happy for them. Also, like to thank the campaigns for Devontae Adams from about 4 years ago. He was a little bit quiet in the whole season and in these playoffs, but would come through late week 17, able to put up a monster 35 points. We would like to thank Sticky Mistakes for Puka Nakua. He was able to put up 20 points after putting up 35 in week 16. Really came back to bite Sticky Mistakes. We traded him for James Cook effectively. He put up 5 both weeks. So very happy to see that. Travis Kelce, a little quiet in the playoffs, but still an excellent season out of him. He had what most people consider down year for him, but that would be a career year for most other people. So very proud of the effort he put in. Young Waku, he had himself a great year. Jacksonville had themselves a great week going up against Carolina, putting up a shutout performance in the championship. Really, all our defenses had a great season this year. Pittsburgh and Seattle as well. And then George Pickens and Chris Godwin also had some excellent playoff performances on the bench, as well as Brock Purdy. We never really needed any of them, but glad they were able to provide depth if it was indeed needed. And then we'd also like to shout out Keaton Mitchell. He was hurt, but he was able to find himself 1 week of playoff appearance out of the 5th round of the rookie draft this year. So we are very proud of him for climbing his way out of the Texas squad, and hopefully he has a speedy recovery this offseason and able to come back next year. But yeah, very proud of the boys for their fight this whole season. Things were looking dire. We were sitting at 5-5. Well, we then rallied off 5 straight wins, including 2 playoff victories, and we now sit here capturing the championship. We'd like to go through and thank the whole league for making this possible. The 2 Evan Schuyler teams in the Toilet Bowl, the Pams and Wallace Pluto. We'd like to thank you for being a cupcake for the rest of the league to walk over every year. Maybe pick up a book, read about the rules, learn how transaction works. Maybe making 2 transactions a year isn't going to win you a championship. I don't know. Maybe we want to shake it up. But we've been begging for that for a while over here on this show. To the Cleveland Steamers and to FaZe Kev, we'd like to thank you guys for sharing the championship last year. We hope sharing a Toilet Bowl appearance this year was equally as fulfilling. We think probably not. We are happy to get a full championship over here. We don't like sharing as much. To the Philly Cheekles, thank you for continuing to have the worst name in the whole league. And for being the team for everyone to hate on. We certainly love being your rival. That was a big hump for us to get over this year. So big victory that helped propel us for the momentum to get this championship that you see that Blake will hopefully never drink out of. We've talked about how much the momentum was needed for us. So thank you for giving us that opportunity. Francy Feast, thank you for being the lovable losers that everyone loves to watch lose. You made it to the Mediocrity Bowl this year. Keep climbing your way up. We expect big things out of you in the future. Glizz Mafia, another great season coming up short. We do expect them to find them names on the championship trophy soon. We know it was a long race between us and them on who's going to get their trophy first. We are happy it was us, but we do expect them to come in second place in that race very shortly here, if we do not repeat. Sticky Mistakes, we would like to thank you, or actually first I want to thank PC Principal. How's that 1 seed treating you? Clowning everyone for finishing better than them in the regular season. Did not really help you in the postseason there, did it, bud? You are, in fact, a wet towel, not even able to soak up your tears because it's already wet. Better luck next year, buddy. And then finally, Sticky Mistakes. I'd like to thank you for a great championship. I hope you get a good look at your column here because it's about to be interrupted by my name. So hopefully you take a picture of this or something because it's going to disappear forever. And you may win another championship, but you will never have the column again. And that is all we have to say. Thanks to everyone again for a great season.
For all the games I play, Uno, things like that. So, yeah.
On the plane ride back. By the way, he said they're wearing these top hats on the plane ride back, and he asked if he could keep it. New Year's resolution?
New Year's resolution, just give up
Hey.
candy, donuts.
Ooh.
I don't know if that can be considered a full championship without, a good old cockball, but, Sticky Mistakes here. Column goes down, devastating fashion. A devastating weekend of football for Sticky Mistakes as they got to watch the Leons get boned on Saturday against the Cowboys. They got to lose fantasy on Sunday, and then they got to watch their Alabama Crimson Tide lose in the Rose Bowl on Monday. So devastating fashion here. It happens to everybody, Adam. So your reign of terror is over. Enjoy the ride, but I still think they're set up pretty well for the future here. You still got Jalen Hurts on this team. We mentioned it a little bit earlier, the Puka trade. James Cook still under contract. They really needed running back help very, very badly at certain points of the season. So having him under contract's really good moving forward. They still got Justin Jefferson on this team. Rashee Rice, rookie out of KC, who's been, playing very, really well recently. One of the big surprises of this week, though, going in was the benching of DJ Moore. He had an explanation for it, which was a little bit better than the explanation that was given for a certain player getting inserted that we'll get to a little bit later. But DJ Moore putting up 32 points here on the bench. He had been a baller all season. Sucks seeing him get subbed out in such a crucial game. But, Sticky Mistakes comes up a little short here, but they still have a lot of great building blocks here, moving forward. I thought they did a good job of kind of flipping their team from a team that was just barely kind of muddling waters this year to a team that's got, a few good players under contract next year that they can build around. So things are looking good for Sticky Mistakes, but, the column is over. And thank you, Travis, for being the one to do it.
Oh, it is truly my pleasure. Moving on to our third place matchup here. We have Glizz Mafia taking third place once again with a massive 358 performance to 298 over PC Principal. It was just really mostly the same usual suspects for Glizz Mafia, especially in week 17. Kyron Williams putting up 30 yet again. He's rookie this year, just really been a superstar, seemingly out of nowhere. CeeDee Lamb with 38 of his own against the Lions, including that massive, I think it was a 98-yard touchdown. That was nearly a safety on deck. We personally at Texas Size were happy to see that one. And then A-Chain, also rookie sensation, 26 of his own, even though they got worked by the Ravens. But that would help them out for fantasy. And then specialists also rounding it out nicely. Another third place finish for Glizz Mafia. Not the performance they or the end of the season they would have liked. I guess it was the performance they wanted. If they would have gotten through the first round, all the signs pointed to they would have won the championship. But perhaps in next year or the year after. But I do expect a championship to come in this team soon.
Yeah, for Precy Principal, coming in as the 1 seed, kind of dominating the league all year. Came up flat. What was it during rivalry week? They went Adam Cleesby to end the season, and he had his big pronunciation of "fuck Kleck season, fuck Cleese season." Managed to go out, win both those games, then comes into the playoffs, sees Adam first 2 weeks, can't get the job done there, then sees Cleesby the following 2 weeks, and came up a little short again. So kind of a little inverse of the energy they had during rivalry week and week 13 into the playoffs. Just kind of not getting it done per se. But this team had a very interesting approach this year. They went really crazy with the 3-year deals. Really weren't interested in signing, a lot of kind of around the edges players. Really wanted to go and get their guys for the long haul. So this team's kind of intact for the foreseeable future, and looking kind of how they were able to control the league this year. You would kind of expect at least some semi-similar success moving forward. They got Justin Fields under contract, Breece Hall under contract, Tyreek, Isaiah Pacheco, Christian Watson. They signed a lot of these 3-year players, and I think Njoku's under contract again. So they got a lot of these guys that are going to be coming back. So you're going to be seeing a very similar PC Principal team here next year. Just hopefully for them, they're able to, get a couple of those guys around the edges. I know Coop's very not patient, so he's going to want to go out and sign and use all of his cap space on a 3-year guy right away. But hopefully he's able to, get a little bit of depth here and, make another push at this next year.
All right, boys, if you made it to this part of the season, that means you have unlocked the Forbidden Game, also known as the Little Caesars Mediocrity Bowl. This year, we had the Philly Cheekles and the Francy Feast battling it out to decide who got 5th place in the league. And as you can see, these teams did not even manage to get 500 points for a mere 125-point average over the 4-week contest. But it would be Francy Feast taking home the victory in the end. The first 2 weeks, both teams traded an 87.5-point performance, as you can see here. So really slow start out the gate. And then week 16, it was Francy Feast bouncing back with a nice 160-point week to give him a roughly 60-point lead heading into the final week. And then as you can see here, that would pretty much hold Jordan Love and the 49ers defense top performance for Francy Feast, helping them hold on to victory. Decent fight out of the Cheekles on the flip side here as well. ETN 27.3 was their big performer on the day, but not enough to quite overcome that 60-point lead that Francy Feast was able to get heading into the final week. For the Philly Cheekles, they battled for most of the year. It looked like they were in a good spot to get a playoff spot. They would come up just short. They were half a point away from going into the Toilet Bowl tournament, but they would find their way out and play in the Mediocrity Bowl. They would come up just short in this matchup as well, but still not a horrible season out of them, especially compared to some of the seasons they've had in Philly prior. On the flip side here for Francy Feast, not the greatest of seasons, a bit of a slow start for them, but they would crawl their way back and find their way out of the Toilet Bowl. Solid year out of them. Also, probably disappointed to fans that they didn't make the playoffs, but they will take this 5th place victory and take the 5th overall draft pick. We'll see what kind of team they're able to go with that next year. All right, moving on to our 7th place game. We had Wallace Pluto 84 putting up probably their 2 best weeks of the season to get a 291 to 234 victory over the Cleveland Steamers. Wallace Pluto, really just a lot of solid performances. Only a couple people really going over the top in James Conner and their defense in Buffalo. We know how much this team loves their defenses. No one else really did great besides Metcalf. But a lot of single-digit performances you can see here, especially out of some names you expect to do better. And only 12 out of Goff. Really, that's pretty low for a quarterback. But you added it all up. It would be enough for them to get the job done. They had a pretty stellar Week 16 as well, so that would help them out. This team, known for usually making the Mediocrity Bowl, they would fall a little bit short of that this year, finishing 4-9. But they did show a tremendous fight in the Toilet Bowl to not only escape but capture 7th place, doing as best as they possibly could in the Toilet Bowl tournament. And Nick, I know they're a formidable foe for you these last 2 weeks. So tell us how your boys were able to, what kind of fight they were able to put up against this Wallace Pluto team.
So I don't know what it is, but Wallace Pluto, if you ever want to get, outside of the Mediocrity Bowl, outside of the, waiver wire transaction depth stuff that we've been telling you for a couple years, you just got to tell your team you're playing the Steamers every week, dude. For whatever reason, the last 3 years, your best couple weeks are always against us. For whatever reason that may be, whether it's a coincidence or if he really is just getting those boys juiced for this matchup. Tell your boys you're playing the Steamers every week because you always show out. Hats off to Noah here. They did play great over these 2 weeks, and we kind of used all of our energy last week making sure that the Pams did not advance. If we had to do it over again, we'd do the same thing. Fuck the Pams. But for our team, it was kind of more of a microcosm of the season these last 2 weeks. Injuries derailed us. Want to start with Hawkinson, torn ACL at this point of the season. It's just devastating. Really hoping the best for him. He was having an incredible year. Really shored up our tight end position. If you're scrolling for him, he's all the way down at the injured reserve. He
I
was
don't think they have that in browser mode. I think it just shows your bench.
Oh, they might not. Yeah, wishing the best for him in his recovery, and hopefully he'll be able to start 2024, if not be able to be available in a couple weeks. Also want to wish a speedy recovery for Devonta Smith. He went out in this week 17 matchup against the Cardinals. Hope that he's going to be able to be back for the playoffs as the Eagles try to muster what's ever left of their season to go on a little bit of a run here. And also, finally, we want a speedy recovery for our kicker, Dustin Hopkins, my second kicker to get hurt this year. Go figure. But he's been one of the, bright spots of the Cleveland Browns. They've had this really incredible run with all the injuries that they've sustained. And, he's a big piece of that. So I want to get him back for the playoffs. But again, kind of the story of the season, had a lot of injuries. Also want to wish a speedy recovery for Nick Chubb and J.K. Dobbins, our 2 lost soldiers, lost early in the season. But, we got a lot of boys coming back. We're excited about the team. And you already know that we're looking ahead of the draft. That's going to be a fun time for us.
All right, moving on to our final matchup. We had the people's main event to decide which owner got thrown in the lake. We had FaZe Kev coming out victorious 291 to 287 over the Pams, resulting in Brendan Lemp being thrown in the cold January lake.
Yeah, for Kev here, he got off to a really hot start. I think he was like a 55, maybe 60-point lead or something crazy like that after the first week. I'm not gonna lie, he tried his damn hardest to give Lemp a shot here. A lot of single digits here going through this week. You got Eckler, Williams, Olave, the perfect recipe to try to get Lemp back. You see Jake Ferguson there too. But luckily enough, Kev was able to muster just enough firepower to squeeze it out. Kind of a little callback here to the Master of Coin video, our Master of Coin Awards. Kev won Best Meme of the Year again this year. In preseason, he put this meme out. Again, we're not going to show the meme, but we all know the meme. Kev kind of foretold this as a prophecy at the beginning of the season, posting that meme out with the culprit of the meme being Brendan Lemp. And for him to be the guy in the toilet bowl to send Lemp into the lake, honestly, poetic justice. Loved every second of it. And yeah, really just happy that, this son of a bitch, Brendan Lemp, went into the lake this year.
Yeah, so for the Pams on the flip side here, really just a terrible effort all season, finishing 3-10 in the regular season. Then they really came to fight in the postseason. Very excellent week 14 and 15, even though it would not quite be enough to get them the victory over the Cleveland Steamers. And then after a disappointing week 16, they had excellent fight here week 17, coming back and making it close, losing by only 3.69 points to the end. Lamar Jackson, he's been playing his ass off in real life and in fantasy, 41 points, trying to will his team to come back because his offense put up 56 on the day. Jerome Ford, 28 points, proven to be an excellent waiver wire pickup for this team, even though they would end up in the lake. Brandon Ayuk had himself an excellent day, 24 points late. And then Cleveland defense gave up 20 points to the Jets, but still able to get 30 fantasy points. I believe they had a touchdown on that one. Not quite sure. But with Mostert out of the flex spot, Lemp had to go to hit the waiver wire and make the decision of who would be his emergency one-day contract to fill in the final 425 spot. And with the fate of the universe on the line, this man said, give me Brandon Johnson, who would put up a measly 4.7 points for him. Literally any other of the major options on the waiver wire would have won him the week. Like we said, he only lost by 3.69. But that was the option he went with, and it would not be enough to get it done. A disappointing season for Pams would have a disappointing ending, despite their strong push in the postseason. They would find themselves finishing in dead last place and having to jump into the cold January lake.
All right, Lamp, you came in last place this year. You scored the least points all year. You had the worst record at 3-10. You traded away all your best players. What do you have to say about yourself? What excuses do you have for the league?
Zero excuses. We're working the way up from here on out. Next year, we're at least going 500 or higher.
Okay, way to shoot yourself
Hey.
high. Way to shoot for the moon.
Hey, we gotta take it. We're winning.
All right, he's gonna jump
Hey,
now.
make sure you find me. Rescue team has to be ready if I die.
Okay, don't die, and don't Yeah, it is
Wait,
not that deep.
Is it to 5 feet?
Probably not. It's probably 3 feet.
All right. Fuck. Okay.
Jump in and duck under.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
All right.
Oh, it was maybe a little more than. All right, good job, Lamp. Way to make it out.
Watch the line. Watch the line. Yeah, watch How's that feel? It's really cold.
All right, Lamp, post jump interview. How are you feeling?
Really cold. My feet are hurting.
Do you feel good now?
Are your toes curling?
need to curl them up to
Not quite.
Anything else to say for the league?
The whole entire league are a bunch of pussies, and I'm gonna come and eat your ass every year, every one of you. You think you stink now? Wait until you see me later.
All right, we're signing off on that note.